Dad was so lost after Mom died. We talked about it and then invited him to stay with us. And we were excited. But with Dad moving in, the house seemed smaller than ever.
A new house was out of the question, but we did have plenty of space to add an extra bedroom and bathroom.
I remember standing in the backyard and imagining the change to the house.
Our neighbors had work done to their house. The job turned out great.
It was a lot to undertake, and we knew we had to get started if we wanted to be done by the time Dad was able to move in.
I know a little about building and I'm pretty handy with tools, but this project was way over my head.
When he knocked on the door, we thought we were so lucky. He was ready to go, and we were just a little bit desperate.
Did we ever learn? We should have never hired an unlicensed contractor.
Every year, Californians spend more than $10 billion on construction, reconstruction, and home remodeling projects. A new room, an updated kitchen, having the house painted and landscaped. These projects add to the versatility, the value, and the enjoyment of our homes.
It's funny, the estimate he gave us was more than any car we'd ever purchased. We'd spend weeks researching before buying a car, but never checked a thing about hiring a contractor before trusting him with our savings.
We should have checked.
Whether it's a simple or complex remodeling job or major reconstruction after a disaster, there's an agency that wants to help you get your contracting job done right. The Contractor State License Board is part of the California Department of Consumer Affairs. The CSLB informs consumers of their rights and responsibilities when it comes to hiring and managing building contractors. The board also licenses nearly 300,000 contractors throughout the state to ensure that construction is performed in a safe and competent manner. They can help you with a complaint against a contractor. It's important to remember that while most contractors are honest, hardworking professionals, consumers must always watch out for scam artists who prey on homeowners. In the next few minutes, we'll be giving you some valuable advice to help you select a licensed and qualified contractor, negotiate a clear contract, prevent disputes with the contractor, resolve disputes if they arise, and get information to build on.
We would have saved so much time and money if we had just known the basics of hiring a contractor.
We really should have checked.
If your job totals $500 or more for materials and labor, the person you hire to do the work is required to have a valid California contractor's license. Selecting the right contractor for your job is an important undertaking. Most licensed contractors are skilled professionals that take great pride in what they do. Unfortunately, there are also many unscrupulous or unlicensed contractors who may offer you little more than trouble. So after you plan your project and obtain financing, it's time to hire the right contractor. Take a moment to learn the basics about the laws contractors must follow. The key is to hire only a contractor who's properly licensed for your job. Keep in mind, even when you hire a licensed contractor, you still need to be careful about managing your project to avoid costly mistakes. A good place to start your homework is by reviewing the information and publications available through the CSLB website at www.cslb.ca.gov.
He told us he didn't need a license because we would be acting as owner-builder. He would just do the work and save us money.
I should have paid attention to my gut feeling. He was way too anxious to get our commitment and our money.
Contractors can have a variety of special licenses, so check to see if your contractor is properly licensed for the work that you want done.
One of the best ways to select a licensed contractor is to seek out personal recommendations from friends, neighbors, or relatives who have had similar work done.
Ask for some names of past and present customers and call them to see if they're satisfied with the contractor's work.
If you hire an unlicensed contractor, you may have little or no recourse if problems occur. The Contractor State License Board can take action against an unlicensed contractor, but it cannot require the contractor to make repairs or to provide restitution to you.
Only work with licensed contractors. They're tested, experienced, and have proven levels of competency.
Just a couple more important points, and then you're ready to get down to business. Obtain at least 3 competitive bids. Remember, you get what you pay for. Now, you don't need to accept the lowest bid, but multiple bids will help identify contractors who are offering unrealistic prices.
Our lifesaver priced the job so low we could hardly believe it. Unfortunately, it was too good to be true.
Once you obtain at least 3 bids, check each contractor's workers' compensation insurance status. Your contractor must have workers' compensation insurance to hire other employees for your job. If your contractor doesn't have workers' comp insurance, then you could be liable for injuries on the job.
Imagine how we felt when we found out we were responsible for any worker's injury because our unlicensed contractor wasn't insured.
We could have lost everything.
Once you've selected a qualified licensed contractor, it's time to put your business agreement in writing. Put everything in writing. Your contract is an important document that often stops problems before they begin. Be as specific as possible. Make sure all financial terms are spelled out. Also be clear as to the type and quality of materials that will be used.
We just shook hands. Did I ever feel like an idiot? In the end, everything was just his word against mine.
Never sign a blank or partially blank contract, and take a copy of the contract immediately after signing it. Never, under any circumstances, pay cash for the down payment or for any other payment.
We gave him half the money up front in cash.
And then never saw him again.
Make sure everything you're paying for is specified in the contract. Include items like cleanup, warranties, product names, and any special requests you might require. By law, the amount of the down payment must not exceed $1,000 or 10%, whichever is less. With the contract signed, you're ready to begin work. Now you should turn your attention to preventing problems before they start by doing your homework. If you have second thoughts, you have the legal right to cancel the contract within 3 business days of signing. Understand that the scope of many jobs often changes once the contract is signed and actual work begins. As the job progresses, be sure to get signed written change orders if you and your contractor agree on additions or deductions. The change orders should clearly reflect the alterations to the original contract.
Your contractor should be able to give an approximate date when the job will begin and end.
Never let your payments get ahead of the work, and make sure everything is completed before you make that last payment. Another important factor you should be aware of is the use of liens. Licensed contractors or their subcontractors may use liens to collect money if they're not paid. If you pay your contractor, but he fails to pay his subcontractors and material suppliers, the subcontractors may be able to use liens to force you to pay them directly.
You could end up paying twice if your contractor does not pay his helpers or other bills.
You even risk foreclosure on your home.
You may receive preliminary lien notices from subcontractors or material suppliers. If you receive a notice, you should take steps to make sure your contractor has paid the subs and the material suppliers. It's a great idea to keep a job file that includes the contract and any change orders, along with financial documents, copies of all correspondences, copies of permits, and pictures of the job in progress. While it's the contractor's responsibility to obtain all necessary building permits, you may be held responsible if your contractor conducts work without a permit.
Building codes only establish minimum standards. They don't reflect the overall quality of the work.
Yeah, a job can pass inspection, but still not be up to the level of craftsmanship that you have specified in your contract.
You may run into conflicts with your contractor that the two of you cannot resolve. If so, request a complaint form online at www.cslb.ca.gov or call CSLB at 1-800-321-2752. After you file your complaint, CSLB will mediate or investigate your situation. In addition to licensing contractors and providing information about the contracting process, CSLB has a variety of resources to educate consumers about their rights and responsibilities when hiring and managing building contractors. Consumers can obtain free information booklets from CSLB. CSLB also maintains a website loaded with useful information. Additionally, CSLB holds informational forums around the state and is a regular presence at home and garden shows. CSLB also works with the media to make sure bad contractors are exposed while good contractors get the recognition they deserve. All of these efforts help ensure California consumers that they have the information they need to protect themselves and their pocketbooks.
Using these resources can save you time, aggravation, and money.
Legitimate contractors will be licensed and will often understand your need to have everything above board and clearly understood. Remembering these important points will help keep you from getting taken by scam artists or unprofessional, unlicensed contractors. Don't rush into repairs, no matter how anxious you are or how badly they're needed. Hire only licensed contractors. Check a contractor's identification and license number by checking on the web at www.cslb.ca.gov or call 1-800-321-2752 to verify a contractor's license and verify that the contractor is properly bonded. Obtain at least 3 bids, get at least 3 references, and review past work. Get a detailed written contract. Don't sign the contract until you completely understand the terms. Pay only 10% or $1,000 down, whichever is less. Never use cash for any payment. Don't let your payments get ahead of the contractor's work. Keep records of payments and files of all papers related to your project. Don't make that final payment until you're satisfied with the job and all building inspectors have signed off on the permits. And finally, if you run into problems with a licensed contractor, contact CSLB and file a complaint. CSLB staff will review your complaint and attempt to resolve the problem. Remember that the California Contractor State License Board has a wealth of publications and resources that will help you avoid costly mistakes and misunderstandings. Do your homework and get information to build on by checking the board's website at www.cslb.ca.gov. If you review these resources before you build, you'll be on your way to ensuring that your project will be a successful one.
We're ready now.
We've done our homework and are ready to try again, this time with a licensed contractor.
Thanks to information from CSLB, we understand the contracting process and know what it takes to get the job done right. Let's get to work.